Welcome back to yet another great video by Scot Mendenhall. Actually, we don't know if it's great yet. That's a little... I'm sorry. I apologize for that. You will be the determination if it's a great video, but we're stoked to have you here. If you're brand new around here, honestly, my name is Scot Mendenhall. Like, why would I lie about that? And we are going to talk shop all about Onewheels, and we hope to entertain you and give you escape from the reality of life and dream about what you could do with your Onewheel and maybe putting a treader tire on one day, because that's what we're talking about. A brand new tire that's not even debuted yet into the world. We're dropping it hot, like it's a hot pancake on the table today. So let's get it started. Apologize for that reference about hot pancakes on the table. Who says that? That's just craziness, but we left it in there. Okay, let me just paint a picture for you. Last Friday, I get a DM from a company that's on the cusp of something pretty revolutionary and pretty cool, and I thought I would read to you the DM so I'm not fabricating or giving you fake news. So here is a DM from an amazing company. It says, "Hey bro, we're about to release a brand new treaded tire." And if you know anything about this channel, we're on the hunt for the best tire right now and trying to just give you information all about Onewheels and what makes them awesome, and you should get one. If you're on the fence, use your Trump bucks to buy one. It's a no-brainer. And so they got my attention when it's like new treaded tire. I would like, sure, what do I gotta do? What do I gotta give you? Do I have to sell something to you? Like, what's the hookup here? We would love to send you one if you'll ride it and tell us, and the internet, that's you guys, what you think. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. So I DM'd right back, because this is Bodie from Float Life. I was like, yes, please, send us that Burris 6 from Float Life. And that's exactly what they did. Here it is in its full glory. This is the Burris 6 from Float Life, okay? And if I call this Brutus at any point, just laugh at me. It's been known to happen in a video or two, but this is the Burris 6 from Float Life, and I'm stoked on this tire just because I like the Burris 6, which we have here. We've already rode this, and we've debuted it, and we reviewed it, and I shared my thoughts on this, so I'm stoked to be riding another one, and to be able to compare what is the difference between the two. Is there anything different in the two? Is it the same tire? And the only difference is that they put the Float Life logo on it, because that's pretty rad to see the Float Life logo. Right there, you got a little Float Life logo. I like that branding, but is that the only thing that's made this thing different, or does it actually ride different? So we're gonna do our non-scientific review of the tire today, okay? So we're gonna get right on it. We're gonna compare it to the other Burris. We did just come from this one. This is the Hoosier Flight Fins Whisper, or some call it the Treaded 2 or All-Terrain 2. Good tire. It's great. I've rode over 100 miles on it, and I have to say, I got some thoughts that we'll share about that. I've shared a lot of what I like about it. There are some things I'm just like, I don't know. I did like this treaded tire from Burris a few weeks ago when I was riding it, and so let's compare the two. I don't know if this is just a Burris thing, but they always have this middle section that is missing in the tread. I don't know if that is a style of theirs or if it actually makes the ride any different, but it is there. If you look at this tire, this treaded tire, look, there's no gap there. The treads go all the way through. The lines are at an angle. These lines are angled, but when you compare the two, right, you see the treads are similar. These treads on a Burris to the Hoosier, these are more rectangular shape versus squared. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. And then I know somebody told me to get a scale. Send me a scale, I'll use a scale. Until then, we're gonna use my arms as the weight seems roughly the same. Switching hands. If anything, this one's lighter, and I'm not sure. This is the Float Life. See, so you know I'm not being biased in this review. This one feels a little bit lighter than this one, if at all. I mean, we're talking like a piece of rubber missing. Now let's talk about the squishiness, because the compound, what makes the rides different is the compound of the tire. Like, I rode a Hoosier 5.5, and the compound of that was so hard, it was nasty, didn't enjoy that. The softer the tire, it's been more enjoyable ride. So far, outside of the Vega, which Onewheel, I imagine you did all of this research in some kind of lab somewhere and decided the Vega was... I like the Vega. It's super squishy and stuff, but really, the tire I have so many tires down here. Like, do you want to see all these that we reviewed? Let's just take a moment of just stacking them up, okay? Here we go. Here's the two Burris's. You're not even going to see me in a minute, okay? Here is that nasty 5.5 Hoosier. Get that mess out of here. Ha! This is a brand new tire for the Pint. We're going to be putting that on soon. We haven't even reviewed this one yet. It's brand new. Can't wait to do that this week. We have the Hoosier Slick, one of my faves. We have the Hoosier Treaded 2. Get it in there. And then we have the Godfather, the Vega. This is the Hoosier Whisper. This one by far is the softest all the way around. I mean, it collapses like nobody's business. And it honestly, I really enjoyed the ride on this one, okay? So then we go back to the new tires from Float Life, and we've got the compound is very soft. If I compare it to this one, right? Because everybody's going to compare it to even the flight fins. That's pretty soft. The sidewalls seem a little bit stiffer sidewalls here, which is going to change the ride. It's going to ride differently because of that stiffness there. It's going to absorb the jumps and stuff a little bit different, but the middle is really soft. Now let's compare it to this. Immediately, okay, I can get the difference between the two. The softness here, the compound that they've made in this is much softer compound than in this one. So it's gonna absorb a lot more of the shock. The ride's gonna be so much more smooth, and it doesn't look like, when I look at it here, it doesn't look like you've lost any of the tread thickness to make up that softness, because that's where you think, oh, they'll just shave off some of the tread, but actually it's not. It's still there. The tread is just as thick. So well done. I'm not an engineer in tire making, so I don't know what goes into making a tire. You can tell there was some thought into this, and this one is made for Onewheels in mind. This is, I believe, just a go-kart tire, and so it's gonna ride like a go-kart tire. This is built for off-road terrain riding. But I also want to know what it's going to handle on the road, because I'm a hybrid rider, like meaning I ride 50% on street and 50% on road, and I really want a tire that I feel great on both. And so I'm stoked to get this one slapped on and get it outside. And so there is our non-scientific review on hands-on. Now, I know a lot of you want to get to the riding, which we're gonna do. We're gonna slap this on, we're gonna go ride it on some of our favorite trails, and we're gonna tell you what it's like, because I want a tire that still carves. I want a tire that responds really well when I'm out riding over roots. I want to be able to feel the roots underneath my feet. I want to know that the tire is still gonna hold me up, but I can feel what I'm riding over. Okay. If you have any questions or thoughts, leave them down below. We're gonna get right to it. We're gonna head outside and we're gonna get this thing, we're gonna put it through its test, okay? Let's get to it. Let's get straight to just first the look. I love that it's all blacked out. There's no white logo on the side. I do like that Float Life has their logo on it. Just the branding of that you're riding a tire made for the Onewheel. I absolutely love that from the get-go. Well done. And then I jump on and immediately I enjoyed the ride. It didn't feel like there's a break-in period of the tire. There are some tires I've got on and it's thicker compound, it's hard, and then people would give it 50 miles. Well, I don't want to ride a tire for 50 miles and then it starts to ride the way I wanted it to ride from day one. This tire from day one rides the way I want it. It's very intuitive and carvable. Intuitive meaning when I lean into a carve here on the pavement, it just goes with me. I don't have to force it. I don't have to work on it. It's a little bit more rounded on the side, so it doesn't have a lip on it. And when you get into it, it doesn't feel like you're, oh, I'm gonna fall now. It goes with you. It becomes an extension of you. And so Float Life did a really good job at making it a tire that carves, but also has a bite to it as we transition from the pavement into very loose gravel here. And the reason I love these shots is I'm always looking for the cinematic shot of the Onewheel, and here it is with the dust flying behind it, and it just looks good as we're blowing dust into historic space. My daughter right there, she's eating all kinds of dust, and I apologize, but it looks so good, even with the pine throwing it back over there. But look at the difference in the amount of dust being thrown up, and it's that traction that you're grabbing from those little rectangle squares on there that's eating up the loose gravel. When I'm I'm carving out, when I'm doing these reviews, I'm riding even a little bit more aggressive than I typically would, just to give a real good sample of what can this tire do. Like, do I feel like I'm going to fall? And I never did. And we're climbing a hill here, as you can tell, front nose of the one wheel's closer. It's eating it, no problem. And we're about to jump into some amazing trails here in Minnesota to really now see, is it intuitive and responsive inside the trails where you don't have much margin for forgiveness, as we turn into one of our favorite locations and give you a first-person view of what we're doing and how narrow the trail is and how fast we're going. Look, the tire is just handling it like a beast as we mob these trails. There's no point do I feel like, oh, this tire can't do it. I enjoy the all-around part of this tire. It might be the only treaded tire I've actually rode where I feel like I like what it does on the road and what it does on the trails. That's what I like about this, is like I could see myself leaving this one on year-round if I so chose to do that. This would probably be the tire I did it because of what it felt like on pavement and what it feels like as you're blazing trails here. This is off-roading at its best, okay? Super not compact. It's all over the place as I'm trying to hang on, and you can see my foot bouncing all over the place, and we're climbing a hill. And this tire, I mean, this is the furthest I've made this in any of the reviews. Typically, I have fallen off. Now, that's either because I've gotten better as a rider, or it's the tire. I don't know. That by far is the furthest I've ever made it up here. I don't know if it's the tire or I'm just getting better. But look at that. We've rode some gnarly paths today. We're shredding. I like this tire. Come on up. Where's those ladies? Icon Historic, you coming? Icon! We go check on those littles. Grabbing the one wheel. Headed back in the woods because Icon and Historic aren't responding and I can't hear them. So we're gonna go hunt them down. But for your enjoyment, you get to watch a little bit more of the XR and the Burris 6 shredding some of the hills here as I leave Epic and Legend at the trailhead. And you're just noticing, I mean, it's not groomed trails, and it is doing great. I didn't have foot fatigue in this ride. The back foot didn't fall asleep. That's always an indicator to me of how well the tire is made and what is that absorbing. Because if you have a great tire on, it doesn't make your foot or ankles have to absorb all the shock now the tire gets to. And this tire, hands down, is one of the better tires. Now, how does it stand up against the other Burris 6? You can totally tell the difference. It's softer, and right away you felt like there wasn't a break-in period as I shout, Icon! There's so many different paths to run in here, you can easily get lost. And we lost the two girls. They took a path other than the one we took. Icon! Oh, they're that way. They're at the trailhead. Wouldn't you know it, they took another path. There's paths up the hill there that they can ride, and they just chose to blaze their own trail. So mobbing back to them to just make sure they're doing all right as we're gonna get out of this trail. But I keep calling for them because I'm like, where are those girls? But as I was saying, the difference between the two Burris 6 and the Floatlight Burris 6, way 9-day difference. There doesn't feel like there's a break-in period. You can immediately get on this and enjoy the ride and not going to tell somebody, well, give it 50 miles. Did you go a different direction? Did you go up top?
Yeah, because Legend never went that way and we thought he would want to try that. Yeah.
Oh, you guys went all rogue on me.
I called your name before we went up there and you never answered.
Whoa.
I said I didn't want to be behind Icon. That is why.
There's some truth when riding with this group here. We tend to want to be in the front so we can set the pace, because if you get stuck behind the ladies, they're great riders.
You just get stuck somewhere else.
You just go slow, because they tend to ride a little bit slower. So Today I tried to set the path, or set the pace. We lost her. All right, that said, would you subscribe to the channel because we have more content dropping about this tire from Float Life. I want to say thank you to the crew at Float Life for hooking us up with this tire. It drops soon on their website. Go get it. You will not be disappointed. It is really, really good. We will have more content this week on our other opinions on this tire as we will put it through other tests like how does it do in wet weather? How does it do in just straight street riding, range test, and speed test? All of those things will happen on this tire. Subscribe to our channel. We also have a brand new berm that we just built in our backyard that we should be finishing soon, so that will be on this channel. We also have a treaded tire that we're dropping on our pint, and it is from Float Life, so we're pretty stoked to bring you all those things. So thank you for everybody that is watching and dropping comments down below. What would you like us to do to test this tire out for you? We are really excited to continue to bring you guys fresh content from Minnesota in such a time as this.